So, first and foremost, how you guys doing tonight? Are you guys having a good night tonight? Listen, look, so did you guys enjoy the food situation?
Yes.
Yes, did you guys enjoy the drink situation? Look, are you guys enjoying the vibe situation?
Yeah.
Okay, the DJ situation?
DJ is excellent.
Ready! Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ Wade Banner. He is a Carolina King that's in the A, making things happen, MP3 wax DJ, like party DJ, like vibe DJ, several things that we've done at the Legacy Center. Put your hands together for the Legacy Center. All right, so we'll tell you guys a little bit about the Legacy Center. This building is owned by 15,000 people of color. It was purchased through the largest crowdfund in African American history. All the names are on the wall. This building is co-working, it's film and television production, several TV shows, music videos for Offset, BET, all kinds of stuff are happening in the space also. You see our ancestors all over the walls. Like, you know, how cool is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Put your hands together for being in a room full of your ancestors in a visual way where you can see them, like you sit under them. And so that's what this building is about. It's a co-working space. It's got a cool story. Speaking of cool stories, I am your host for the evening. My name is Mr. Daniel Dickey, Curator of the Black Media Mixer.
Great segue.
Listen, and so before I get into me a lot, I am going to bring up one of my, where is, yes, there she is.
Yes. If somebody's able to turn this down, I'm a little too short.
Yes.
It's a little loud.
So, anything else, Randy? You know what I'm saying? Okay, got it. Okay, got it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Randy O'Cray. Randy is a multimedia maven. She creates content. She is a storyteller. She is a radio personality, a podcaster, and she's also my executive liaison.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? And she's going to introduce our food and drink situation more formally. Let them come up and just say hello. And we're going to also hear from the co-founder and the multi-media mogul, Mr. Jay Morrison also. So, Randy, give it to him.
Alrighty, so first, our drink sponsors. Every time we have our Black Media Mixer, we have a Black-owned food sponsor and a drink sponsor. So for today, in this Black Media Mixer, we have Tammy. Tammy's with Motown Mixer. And I remember coming talking to Mike here. Come closer, Tammy. We met her at another Black Media Mixer. She said no. And she was super helpful. And
she blew it. Hello, you had an opportunity to speak in this room. Come do that. What are you talking about? Stand right here, Tammy. Yes. And I'm going to be clear. This is not a democratic process either. Come on over here, Tammy. Tell us who you are, what you do, how we can find you on social. Like, yes.
All right, my name is Tammy Gibson. I moved here about a year ago from Detroit, Michigan. You can follow me on IG, Motown Mixes. Hi.
And the mic in your hand up to your mouth, Tammy. That's what we're doing. Yes, microphone up to your mouth.
I love you, Tammy. Okay. Yeah. Follow me on IG, Your Sweet Tea or Motown Mixes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
we love Tammy. And so for our food sponsor, so this queen who has her own food company, she does event planning. I met her at another event, just cooking and doing her thing.
And food was busting too.
You know, like I know for myself, I wasn't sure about it. Everything we've had was vegan, and D-Star did it. So
Listen, and D-Star, I was going away when Randy was like short ribs. I was like, oh goodness, not actual meat short ribs. You know, because short ribs is like one of my favorite things.
I couldn't wait for you to try it because I seen the look in your face.
Yeah, trepidation is what it was. I can help you with it. That's what it was. It was trepidation.
I'm glad you loved it.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. Y'all can add me on Instagram. My Instagram is thefabexperience_. And I'm here in Atlanta. I just moved here from New York, and I came out here. I did not come down here to play. I love cooking.
Right.
From New York, Brooklyn to be exact.
Oh, we know it. We can tell. Marcel called it.
We got Brooklyn in the building, and I'm just happy to be here. Atlanta been treating me right. I've been doing a whole bunch of events out here, and I just love the love that you guys give me. And y'all gonna see a lot more of me.
All right, now the short ribs got you coming through, guys. We can see you again, guys.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys. You can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is thefabexperience_. It's spelled with THE, fabexperience_. And hit me up. I do private events. I do hosting events, catering.
All right. Got you. Thank you so much, Queen.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nancy.
All right, and so now we're going to hear from the visionary leader of the crowdfund that purchased this building and so many other real estate portfolio advancements and all of those things. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Morrison, Mr. Jay Morrison, King Jay Morrison. And Randy, I need the questions. I need the questions. Yeah.
Peace, family. Whack.
Right.
Peace, family. Y'all better act like y'all at the Black House in Black Mecca. Like y'all literally at the Black House in Black Hollywood, Black Mediawood, Black Mecca, owned by black people, black owned land, Pan-African flag flying on the lawn, in real life. So I want to our media panelists, thank y'all for coming out and supporting us. Thank you all for coming out to our Mixer, Resource Guild, King Daniel, Double D, 82%. Appreciate you and the team.
A lot of buckets.
A lot of buckets. So real quick though, by show of hands, who here is into real estate? All right, yeah, in real estate. Who's here in real estate?
Not yet.
All right, so everybody looking around and hands up. All the hands down, y'all the problem. I'm gonna tell you why you're the problem though. I'm gonna tell you why you're the problem though. Where are you sitting right now? What's this? It's real estate. When you woke up this morning, what was that?
Real estate.
Where you were born at, what was that?
Real estate.
Where you worship at, church, mosque, or temple, what is that?
Real estate.
Where you go party in a club, what is that?
Real estate.
See, as a community, we often think that we're not in real estate, but we already are. That vegan, veggie food you just ate, where did it come from?
Real estate.
The cotton on your clothes, what's that?
Real estate.
The gold and diamonds in this Rolex watch, where did it come from?
Africa.
Real estate in Africa. Listen, ain't no black power without black land.
That's a word.
There is no black power without black land. If you don't got the land, you can't even feed yourself. The water comes from the land. You can't even hydrate yourself, Queen. So if we continue to have someone else feed us, hydrate us, clothe us from their land, their real estate, we always going to be subordinate to them. You can't have black liberation and black power without black land.
Amen.
So that's what we own here at the Black House. We're here to inspire you to become owners, to use our media, to perpetuate these messages out to our community, to change the narrative. That's your responsibility, that's your task and duty.
Hey.
My task and duty as a 20-year real estate veteran entrepreneur is to give us the game in an affordable, relatable, and accessible way. So we got more family CEOs, more land ownership, more legacy, and we could bridge the wealth gap in real life. That's what we own. Power, control, ownership, all that for the people, by the people. So that's that Black House energy. I just want to give y'all real quick. Thank y'all for coming. Yes. Yes.
All right, so really quickly, so I'm going to introduce myself and then we're going to meet these extraordinary panelists that I am so grateful to have in the midst. Put your hands together for these panelists that you guys pulled up for. Look, I can't, this is not, you guys cannot be, first of all, you know what, before I give you guys my official statements, I'm going to tell you who I am really quickly, and then we'll give you my official statements, because that was a very dry hand clap for some actual legends. So really quick, so my name is Mr. Daniel Dickey, and I am a real Renaissance man. I own an award-winning brand management and strategy consulting agency, In that space, I was blessed to be the PR director to launch One Music Fest, Steve Harvey Events, the Floridian Festival, 2 Chainz, Street Exec Studios, all kinds of cool shit. But I'm also a singer-songwriter. I went to college on vocal scholarship as a solo artist. Me, this guy. I've opened for John Legend, Jagged Edge, Carl Thomas, 112, Ryan Leslie, Robert Glasper. I did NBA All-Star Weekend 2019. And I'm also an activist and a philanthropist. I'm the chairman of the Young Professional Advisory Board for Jose Feed the Hungry and Homeless. I also mentor young black men through the Barack Obama Foundation. And I am the namesake of 2 black men that have their names on buildings. So I'm not here to be small. I'm not here to be humble. I don't see the value in it. That means to have a low estimation of your own importance and your own value. And being that we are the derivative of the people that created everything. Like literally everything. Like, so why should we have a low estimation of our own value and our own importance? So that's not what we're gonna do here. And so when when we get into our conversations about putting your hands together for people, and they are this batch of people, like, make some actual noise. Can we practice that right now? Yes, so make some noise for some actual weapons. So for us, like, the stuff that Jay was talking about, you know, it's important for us to have a unity in the way that we live, not just in the things that we do, because the more regard that we have for each other, the more connected we'll be to each other. And the more connected we'll be to each other, the more seamless our movement will be, the more cohesive we can be as a people. And so a part of that is getting into rhythm with each other. And that's what we're gonna do tonight in this small room full of my people, black owned, everything, okay? And so we're gonna have that experience with each other tonight. And with that, I'm going to start with my multimedia mavens to introduce themselves, and I want you guys to bring the energy that legends deserve, because that's what these, you know what I'm saying, people are, you know what I'm saying? And some emerging legends, young lions, you know what I'm saying? But we definitely have some legendary legends. And I'm excited to be flanked by these 2 blue bombshells, and we're gonna let them introduce themselves first, and we're gonna get into this panel, all right?
But before we get started, I want to hear you sing.
Let's go!
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Because I've been sequestered, you know what I'm saying?
Not move the chair.
You got to breathe.
My Sherry, lovely as a summer day. Oh, my Sherry, higher distant as the Milky Way. Oh, my Sherry, lovely little one that I adore. You're the only girl my heart beats for. How I wish that you were mine. La 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 la. La 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 So outside. Yeah, just so you know I'm outside, Miss Monica, okay?
Hey, that was better than what Omarion did.
Look, so just to set the table for the kind of panel we're gonna have. So you might as well introduce yourself. Tell them how lit you are.
Now, the reason I asked Daniel to do that is because I learned long ago, whenever anyone asks you something about yourself, it's important for you not to be shy because you never know how you could miss an opportunity. So with Daniel, it was a case of, oh, you want to hear me sing? Let me do it. Well, that's how I basically got my job in television. I had been a newspaper reporter for so many years, wanted a job in television, and when I went to a station to try out for the job, they told me I didn't look the part, I didn't sound the part, and that I really needed to stay in newspaper. And rather than go, okay, I said, well, what can I do to be able to get into the business? And far too often when people criticize us, we just hear it as destructive criticism rather than constructive criticism by turning around and asking, well, what do I need to do in order to get where I want to be? And so the guy was very honest with me. He said, well, you need to learn to do your hair, you need to learn to do this, you need to... And at the time, Diane Sawyer was a weather girl in Louisville, Kentucky, which is my hometown. So that tells you where the mindset was back then. Hair down to here, chest out to here, and nothing up here. So it was important to look the part, but also to still have that inner way. So I took a charm course. And I learned to do my hair, and I learned to do my makeup. And part of that job was on Friday nights, walking through a restaurant from Vic's department store, stopping at people's tables and saying, hi, I'm Monica from Vic's. This outfit would be absolutely perfect for you to take on vacation, and here's why. It's so many degrees in Florida, and this would be the ideal. And it comes in all sizes. Well, this lady looks at me and says, what do you do when you're not doing this? Again, if somebody asks you, tell them. I said, I'm a newspaper reporter, worked in PR, trying to get a job in television. Her husband was the news director at WHAS-TV.
Oh, wow.
She said, can you come back after your shift? I said, I will be here.
In Jesus' name.
Yes, and immediately did an interview.
Pull it up.
And then 2 weeks later, I was working for the TV station. And the station that told me I would never make it, we beat them regularly on weekends, so I was the first woman editor and reporter.
Could never.
Never make it. And they were responsible for getting me to Atlanta because our numbers were so good, they gave my tape to the same people who own WSB because they had decided to put a woman, quote, on the 6 o'clock news. And the fact that I was a minority woman gave me a twofer. And back then, that's what they wanted, And so when I started, I was the first woman to do the evening news in Atlanta, although Jocelyn Dorsey was the first black woman to anchor. She says all the time, the only reason she didn't get the job is because she refused to give up her afro. You have to know how to read the time.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
Exactly. All right.
So, basically, 37 years at WSB, now retired 10 years working at Peachtree TV, doing personality interviews. Went back to school, that's the other thing that we have in common. Because there's a line where people say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Guess what? You can teach anything. Tricks. If you want it bad enough.
With Scooby Snacks, you can teach your dog anything, anytime.
So I went back to the University of Georgia, got my master's degree, taught, and now I'm having fun doing what I love to do, personality interviews for Peachtree TV. And I always say, you know the name, after I do the interview, you'll know the person.
I like that. Let's ride that way. Yep, you're next.
Our other queen.
No, I just decided to switch it up just now.
Wait a minute.
That's happening. Just get on board, Monica.
Another person.
I can't believe he's doing that.
So audible.
We'll get right there.
Sure?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Well, my name is Marcel Bowie. I work with Warner Media, NBA TV, TNT. Also, as a producer and editor. I'm the type of person that bet on himself, and that's why I'm here. I quit my job as a master control operator, my first media job out of college. I majored in business, but wanted to do media. I just went to college to play sports, honestly. But majored, after that, went to work at Encompass Digital Media as a master control operator. I'm like, my hours were like 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. I'm like, this ain't for me. I'm too creative for this. I bet on faith, quit my job, and went to Warner Media, freelancing as a runner. Then just built my way up as an editor, then now I'm producing my own show there. I worked on Inside the NBA documentary, Emmy nominated. Didn't win, we lost to Tom Brady, unfortunately.
Go, get it again.
It's all good. Had an opportunity to work on the 2020 Olympics as an associate producer.
Okay, legends only.
And it's been fun. I'm glad to be here with these amazing people, and I create content, I write scripts, I'm trying to do just more creative things with, people like yourselves. So hit me up, let me know.
And what's
what y'all
Charles
do.
really like?
Charles is one of the nicest people in the world. When I working at TNT, when you work with Charles, Ernie, Shaq, and Kenny, going downstairs in the green room, they don't really like people in the green room like that, but I'm down there, Charles just introduced himself. Hey, I'm Charles Barkley, nice to meet you. And no one else did that. Ernie didn't do that, Shaq didn't do that, Kenny didn't do that, but Charles will always do that. One of the nicest people you ever meet.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, I'll keep it rolling.
Yes.
My name is Renoil.
Get these guys out the way.
Simpkins. I go by Q. I also work at Warner Media. I'm on the CNN side. I'm a producer on that side on the evening shift. So if you're ever watching in the evenings and you see any of your favorite shows, I'm partly responsible, me and my team as well. I am from Kansas City, where I work for several radio stations. I also have a podcast here with Randy and a few other guests.
Hey, I have the same birthday as Patrick Mahomes.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, we got to go to a Chiefs game.
Yes.
It'll change your life.
Yes. I've known two of the chaplains of the Chiefs.
Have you?
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
So, like as I stated, I do work for CNN. I've hosted the things. Black Kitchen Randy's Room.
Wait, say the name, okay? Yeah.
Where I see several people who's been a guest on our show, including Mr. Dickey. We will approach you and have you on.
Hey.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Everywhere you can listen, that's where you can find us as well. It's just an honor, honestly, to be up here with these legends. When I saw my picture on the flyer, my mind was blown because I've met Monica from working at Cox Media when we were at WSB, Kiss 104 and everything, in passing one Saturday. But then I've heard Maria many times on the radio, and the fact that I'm able to sit next to you guys, mine's completely blown. I'm excited to learn everything that I can this evening and tell you guys everything that I can about whatever we're going to discuss tonight.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank
You're welcome.
you. And Mr. Dickey, again, thank you.
All right, Chris.
All right, make sure the mic is on. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Blessed to be here with you all. I'm Christopher A. Daniel. I'm an award-winning freelance journalist based here in Atlanta. My work is featured in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I do a lot of stuff for BET.com, the Washington Post, Food and Wine, Vogue, Architectural Digest.
Legends only.
NPR Music. I'm also a professor of arts, culture, and entertainment at Morehouse College's newly developed journalism department.
Newly developed. Keywords.
Originally from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I was a graduate of Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, and also received my master's degree from the University of Georgia's Grady College of Journalism, like Monica as well.
Okay.
And just got back from spending 3 weeks in the south of France at Cannes Film Festival. Two of five students from the Atlanta University Center for the very first time in its history. I was also the first black student advisor that they had in 30 years, so that was pretty cool. I'm also an NADJ member, a Recording Academy member, and just trying to make sure I spread my wings and just spread the culture and do what we do for our folks. So glad to be here.
Now, Dr. Boynton.
Yes.
Last but not least.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Red velvet cake. Face up.
I'm gonna carry him with me everywhere I go. Thank you all so much. It's so wonderful to see y'all. Y'all are beautiful here. And I gotta tell you, just to be considered to be on a panel with Monica, oh my God, to be called a legend, my God, next to Monica? Are you kidding me? Anyway, I am really honored to be here this evening. I'm Maria Boynton. I graduated from the HBCU, Albany State University in Albany, Georgia. Graham Buck.
Hey.
And so, you know, and I've spent a lot of my time working with the university, you know, serving on the national board, things of that nature, and working on scholarships for our students, because we know they'll take our grant money and just send us back home, and mamas don't know what to do. So it's just something, you know, to just work to get that money in. Graduated from Albany State, as I said, went to work in my hometown, Columbus, Georgia. Got a call one day from Pete Conant Camp. And after I attended a session at the University of Georgia Journalism Department, and so then I came to work at WGST and the Georgia News Network, and wow, then I got a job at CNN, but at the time my husband got a job in music, so we moved north to New York, and I worked there for a few years. He passed, and I came back home. And yeah, it's all good. It's been 21 years.
Okay.
And so, basically, I am now at V103. I was laid off, was at CNN for over a decade. They started cutting back, got rid of the CNN radio department eventually. And
look at them for that.
Yeah, and so
shout out to them for you.
Yeah, one day I got a call that said, if you want to start by working again, and that was a former colleague of mine, Harry Beadle. He said, I know a station in Atlanta that's going to flip. At the time I was in Columbus, Georgia. Mom had been diagnosed with cancer, went down, was taking her to the Amos Center every day. And so, you know, sometimes, you know, God puts it on you to kind of take a look back, take a step back, and it was fine because when the job was gone, you know, things were happening. And then my sister said, why don't you just come home and help take care of Mom? And so that's what I did, which is great. Got closer to her, get closer to the family, you know, because sometimes, you know, you're away and then you need to come back. And that helped me. I ain't done. I'm sorry. but basically, I am now at B103. And I know he told us he was going to cut us off. And
I'll let you know who it was qualified to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So y'all hear me every morning, right?
Yes.
Listen, so before we go any further, is there anything else that you have to say, Maria?
Well, I also host Atlanta Post with Dr. Maria Boynton, period.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, period.
On 4 stations, our 4 stations, B103, WAOK, 92.9 The Game, Star 94, and 3 HD platforms as well.
Be clear, okay? All right, so listen. All right, so I want to make sure we go through probably at least 5 questions. So I'm just giving you guys that warning in advance because it could get interesting. Okay, so we could definitely. So the first question I'm going to ask is, do you think that society is moving away from allowing the freedom of individuality with the court of public opinion? And how has cancel culture affected the way that you work? And feel free to just raise your arm for the microphone. I'm going to pass this one this way.
It is. It's a lot.
Exactly. I felt like that was, but just the lengthiness of you guys' abilities, I feel like these are 2 questions you can incorporate, and I'll read them back together.
The council part is.
Well, hold on. I'm going to give you the microphone. Let me read the question. All right. Do you think that society is moving away from allowing the freedom of individuality with the court of public opinion?
Stop.
How has cancel culture affected your work?
All right. I do not feel that the public court of opinion is moving away from individualism, and here's why. If you look at a lot of artists or influencers that are coming up, they all might be doing the same thing with using social media as a platform, but they all do it their own way. Unless it gets to a point where they say something that's out of line, that's when the cancel culture comes in. But can you really cancel a person? I don't believe so, because there's more than one way to express what you're saying or what you want to do on multiple platforms. and then look at everybody. All you got to do is apologize, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay." And then something else big pops off, and then they forgot all about that. Now they're on them. So that's my opinion. I'm definitely excited to hear what you was saying.
Next.
Next batter, let's get into it.
Well, for me, I work at a hip hop station. And being a news person, it was kind of weird coming from CNN and then saying, yeah, I want to work for CBS Radio in Atlanta, Georgia. And being at a hip hop station, you know, you have to take a step back in terms of if there's a news story. Oh, they have to wait for a break? I had to get used to that, working at a music station. But now, you know, they're coming and seeing my way of thinking, because so much is so important to everyone when it comes to information. When it comes to individualism and things of that nature, as you said, Q, so many people do the same things, but they do it in their own way. And I realize that when I'm listening in the mornings and I'm hearing these new artists and I'm saying, okay, now, who was that? And what was that? And then, you know, later in the afternoon, you'll hear something that was similar, but it's a different person. So in terms of music, coming from a news background, I'm learning so much more about individuality and all of that when it comes to music and hip hop and all of that. And when it comes to cancer culture, I gotta tell you, who was canceled last month? And now they're big again.
Johnny
so,
Depp.
you know what I'm saying?
Johnny Depp.
You know, so it's, you know, paying attention day after day, month after month to everything. It's like yeah. Social media, you the comeback kid, 24/7.
A constant state of coming back. We back, baby. That's buddy. Anybody else want to get on that question?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty. I have my eyes on 3 people, just so you know, team. Alright, so the question I'm going to ask you guys, I'm going to switch gears here. How do you maintain your mental health in a realm full of bleed leads, despair, and sprinkles of goodness? And I'll let everyone answer that question. We'll start with the people I have my eye on.
I like to cook. I love to cook. And one of the things that I try to do is I try to log off of all social. I try to just focus on what I want to watch on television, maybe talking to my friends or talking to my family on the telephone. And we have to get back to physically picking up the phone and calling people.
Yeah,
and I'm
making the call.
Making the call and just reaching out just to check on folks. But I always tell people it's always good to get a healthy diet of something and just to kind of decompress and just cleanse yourself from certain things. Sometimes it's good to just turn the news off. Sometimes it's good to just turn the radio off. Sometimes it's good to just turn on your Spotify, your Apple Music, and just let your playlist just play while you're doing something. Some people like to go to the gym. Some people like to just go whatever. My kitchen is my inner sanctum for me. It's just something about sitting down and just getting all these different colors of peppers and all these different seasoning salts and just tenderizing meats and just brining certain things. It's just an escape, and it's a good way to still
brining.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds high-level eatery right there. That just like cats only saying they brining very often. That's not something that just people run through all the time. I'm brining. I love that.
Chicken, right? Turkey. I'm a food writer, so you know sometimes you got to dip and dab in little techniques. And, you know,
all right.
I'm from a family full of cooks, so that's what it is. But for me, it's cooking. But I'm sure for somebody else, it's shopping, it's going on vacation, getting those passport stamps. But it's important for everybody to find whatever is their escape and just to do that and just
escape. Exactly. Leave. Be present. I love that.
Big time.
All right.
I start my morning off. First thing I say when I open my eyes, thank you, Lord, for another day.
Yes.
I do not take my life for granted. I then do what I call settling my mind. I read my Bible. I also have a little book that I read, and that gets me started. I stretch, because that's to get the knees moving.
Yes.
But it's also just being in touch. John and I are lucky to live on a lake.
Hey.
So that's
like
the way.
speedboat level? I mean,
Yeah,
jet
we
ski
have
level?
a nice, yes.
Okay.
We have a nice lake.
Invite for energy? Yeah, summer energy?
No. It is our place of refuge. And you are too high maintenance.
No, for the record, I'm low maintenance, but I bring all the vibes. I have the food, the drink, the cameras. What do you mean? I'm very low maintenance. I'm actually an air, water, stir. I'm like the best oatmeal ever.
But to go sit out on the back porch with the two German shepherds and just look at the lake and go on the boat, that is relaxing for me. Now, before my knees went out, I would play tennis to name the balls of the people who were getting on my last. You couldn't hit them, but I could hit the balls. And in my mind, it was the same thing.
All right.
And I think that that's one of the things. I had to learn that I couldn't be all things to all people.
Amen.
I had to learn how to say N-O.
Yes.
And then I learned that people would go, well, you're the first to do this, you're the first to do that.
Right.
And my line became this.
Uh-oh.
If I drop dead tomorrow, wouldn't you find somebody else to do it?
Hey! That's the biggest facts, all of this shit that we're doing.
Yeah, so I have learned to take time for me. I've learned to say to John, I'm tired, I can't do it, and he will handle it. And I am blessed that I have a mate who picks up, and he loves brining. He's a good cook. I don't do turkeys anymore for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I just do the sides. He takes care of me. We got 2 green eggs, okay? And a gin and a briner. We got all of that. But that's how I relax.
Okay.
I do watch TV from time to time, but I limit my television watching.
Okay. Yes.
Because it's not what I do anymore.
I love it.
I would say, put this down whenever you get a chance.
Yes.
As much as you can, put this down, get away from it.
Put it on Do Not Disturb.
Do not D&D. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tend to do. It's hard to get out of Instagram, all the news, your group chats, Twitter. But put this down and find yourself, find your peace. I like to travel, get away, especially get out of America whenever you can, see the world, and just learn different cultures and how things work and different people and see how they move and try to incorporate that into your life as well. And that's what I try to do every time I travel and come back here and just regroup, refocus, and retool.
Okay. I love your idea about the phone. Because what I do is at night, I don't keep the phone in our room. Our phones are in another part of the house.
I know that.
Because if anything happens after midnight, you want to be well rested to handle it the next
In the morning, yes.
So phones do not stay near us at night.
It's kind of ironic. I kind of do some of the same things. I enjoy cooking and entertaining. I've had several people in here over to like my green egg, where I put my food on.
I too have not been one of those people.
I told you the next time we have something.
Okay,
I got you. I mean, cooking is my happy place, and I don't even know how I got there. Like I didn't try to get there. My father was a great cook. My grandmother's a great cook, but they never allowed me in the kitchen. So I kind of just picked it up.
That made you probably want it more.
Right. I kind of just picked it up on instinct, just learning trial and error. And that's kind of how I got there. I turned on my music, depending on my mood. 9 times out of 10, it might be Switch. It might be Misty Blue. I might play that. Like my old music just really transforms my mind when I'm cooking, and I feel like the ancestors kind of come into me and be like, no, you need a little more garlic. That's just kind of what I do. I will say this before I pass the mic about my cooking. I did smoke some wings and then fry them, and Randy thought I bought them from a restaurant. So
legends only.
I just kind of, I enjoy that. That's for me. That's my piece right there.
All right.
How do I stay sane? Well, I don't. But what I will say is, being here this evening, I've learned that I could do more. There's more that I could do. Of course, with the phone at night, it's right there,
Yes.
And before long...
Umbilical cord.
Yeah, and if I have it up, and I tell you, you do need to let that phone go. Because when I put it
Face
down,
too.
I actually
Ass up.
I feel better. I do feel better. And basically what I do is, I like to cook. It's just me. So when I cook, I enjoy it. You
Yes,
know,
me too.
I can sit down, cross my legs, and I can put leftovers away, and they're gonna be there when I get ready for them.
Okay? Be clear.
Be clear.
Same 6 wings.
It's just
Smoked
me.
and fried.
So basically, and then I love to go and cook for my mom. I love going down, you know, and just driving down on a nice weekend, because I can stay in Atlanta and I could run over to a shooting. I could run over to an event,
Okay.
you know. And by the way, John, I've seen John accepting awards for you at events.
Yes.
I'm like, I drove in the rain. Monica at home. John was here. I drove in the
Yes.
storm.
Handsome, stand-in, double.
Exactly. So basically, to keep my mental awareness, you know, in check, I have to step away. I can't run out to every protest. You know, I have to learn that. I can't try to introduce the world to everybody in a day. So basically, for me, I just chill and watch. I do good on Netflix.
Gotcha. All right, I love it.
What do you do?
Okay, so
What do you do?
I'm about to answer the question.
Come with
Officer. All right, look. So a couple of things I do. One is I definitely believe in going outside, like getting that vitamin D and actually grounding. Like actually will take off my shoes and socks and just let my feet touch the earth. And so that reminds me that I'm a part of something bigger than me in every moment. So I do that. I still play tennis. Me and Marcel actually play tennis. We have a little league where we meet and we play tennis. Yes, look, it's listen, so because I know Marcel so well, I'm sure he said one of those like very testosterone-infused things about how he always wins. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's like not, you know, no one ever always wins. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Just for the record, you know what I'm saying? Look, so I still play basketball. I play basketball every Wednesday. I am someone who I smoke marijuana. I think marijuana is a very fun experience to have also. Yes, definitely. Look, so I'm in touch with the production, the marijuana.
You're on camera. You don't say that on camera.
Look, see, Monica, I get paid to be myself. Nobody could ever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like you signed up when you hire me, you signed up for Mr. Daniel Dickey to bring his advisement to what you got popping, and it seems to work out for people. So yeah. I mean, hello, we might smoke in the meeting. The meeting might be a smoke session.
And then we will be leaving.
Like, see, you know, it's like at the end of the day, you always gotta know who you're around. Sometimes you're around, you know, the police that we aren't paying to allow us to smoke marijuana inside of an establishment, which we do in Atlanta everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're walking past the cop, they're the ones seeing the weed. Like, you know, but anyway, so I do that. I definitely also enjoy cooking. I love to hear these men all talking about enjoying to cook. Actually, Marcel didn't say that, but I know that he's been under the tutelage of a legend. So you know what I'm saying? So I cook and I just make sure that I have fun. Like, I'm someone who's always chasing my own smile. And because I'm chasing my own smile, other people get to benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? But it's never about them, it's about me. I want to smile. I want to be having a great time. I want to be doing positive, productive things with dope people. And I insist on that being what's happening. So it's like that's a part of it too for me. So yes, I'm outside. Okay? Like, outside, 20 every time. All right, so actually that's everyone.
Yes.
So we are going to move on to the next question. So, I think the question that I want to ask you guys is, what can we as Black media and publicity people do to bring about more unity in our industry? And I'll run it back for you guys. So, what can we as Black media and publicity people do to bring about more unity in the industry?
Good. Communication and respect. Mm-hmm. I mean, those are my two. I mean, when it comes to, if you've got something going on, communicate it. And when you communicate it well and thoroughly. Mm-hmm. That's number one, efficiently. Yeah. Respect, I mean, if we're out on a gig together, come on now. You don't have to cuss me out to tell me to move over. Right. I mean, what some might consider petty things, these things can become big items, you know, when you're out there trying to work. And for me, what I do, I don't consider it work. I consider it a public service. That's the reason I continue to do it. Because, you know, our community, we have been held back and disenfranchised and just uneducated for so long about the things that matter. Because when I look at the Andrew Youngs and the Martin Luther Kings and all of those, I say they were out there fighting, but there were still those left back there in the trenches who didn't really know what was going on. You know, there were some people who didn't know what was going on. Some of my folks who didn't know what was going on. I had a family member to say to me one day, and we were talking about busing and things of that nature, and she said to me, well, I'm so glad that we didn't go through that. But you were part of it. It was just normal for you to be walking to school. Right. You know, so and then, you know, I educated her on that, and she said, oh yeah, you're right. So basically, you know, for me, I'm out here doing a service, and I just need us to be one when we're out here together. I mean, I'm out at a mayor's ball, and a professional African-American man says to me, get out the way with that cell phone camera. You know, so it's one of those things where we can be the worst to each other when we're both out here trying to make that bag. And that's all I'm trying to say.
Hold on, let me see this. So, Maria, I feel like I needed a little bit more from you, actually. Yeah, and so I want to know more about some actual, like, some tools that you can give us, more than just so you said respect and communication, correct? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So now take me one other place, because I think the conversation about unity is one that I don't even want you to, I want you to give me one other thing, maybe something tangible that every one of us can actually do.
Okay, let's see here. When it comes to communication, we can start by, you all were great this evening. When you walk in the door, just be pleasant. Yeah. Hello, smile, exactly. Smile. Everything is not a problem, people. Right. I mean, everything can't be a problem.
Especially for strangers.
Exactly. I didn't do anything to you. So, you know, in that respect, just to me, I know everything isn't great, kumbaya every day, but at least you know. Let me give you an example. I was up Saturday needing to get some things done. I said, I don't know if I'm going to make it. But by the time I got to that mall and stepped out the car, I was ready. Okay. It's going to be a great day. Hey, you look great today. Hey, and the way that people responded to me. If you're having a rough day, share a smile with somebody. You're going to see how you change so many people's lives. And that in itself makes you feel better.
There we go. I like that.
So in that respect, the communication thing is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And basically, the other one is a given. Just stop being negative to so many people. Just be kind. We're all out here working together. So is that what you were talking about?
Yes, there we go. Yes. Yeah, I mean, we can't have these diva legends out here and not giving. I like what you just gave us just now.
But to me, it's just simple. I mean, you can call me a legend. I just been working.
Well, I already did it.
Okay? I mean, I just been working, and the years just continue to pile on. But still, it's like
10-year veteran. Got it.
Thank you.
I would say, don't be afraid. Put your ego to the side. Put your pride to the side as well. Don't be afraid to ask questions. For example, I was young media journalist, doing my own stuff, bringing my own camera to Hawks games and practices, and I went to Kobe's last game here in Atlanta.
Hey.
Big media room. I'm probably the lowest on the totem pole. I am in my own head like, should I ask a question? Should I ask a question? Should I ask a question? And I asked a question, and he had a great answer. I asked, was he going to be a part of the Olympics? He gave us a great long answer, and I was just in my own way afraid to just take that leap of faith. And that's what I have to say about that. And also, NABJ, look into that. Yes. I went for the first time. I didn't know about it. I wish I knew earlier in my media career about it. You meet so many dope black individuals in the media game. I'm sure Chris can talk a lot more about that. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to go this year. I'm trying to get sponsored to go from Warner Media.
Yes,
they holding the bag. They ain't really trying to send nobody this year. But I'm trying. It's in Vegas this year. It's in August, I believe, right? So you meet so many amazing people. I know some of my mentees got jobs from going there. Just taking a leap of faith. They got a job working at Warner Media, just from going off of NABJ. So I would say look into that for sure.
Something else that I do that I think is very important is I use my influence. So if I'm a freelancer, so naturally when I'm dealing with other editors, I'm always trying to figure out, well, what is the long-term goal that I can make this beyond just this one assignment? And by me being a professor, I try to make sure the students have an internship. Or if I know someone that contracts out as a PR agent, I'll say, well, have you thought about this person? This person handles this type of work, or this is the type of portfolio that they have. So I try to make sure that it's not just me getting the money. It's like 3 or 4 of us getting paid. That's how we keep a good infrastructure going, a good media culture going for us. And that's how we keep the money in the family. So it's almost like a Black Wall Street mentality for me. Another thing that I would say is very important to me also because I'm a freelance writer. When I have people reach out to me to cover and to use a Fast Company or a Vogue or AJC, I want to be tagged in the damn post too. Like, don't just sit there and tag AJC and say thank you. Shit, thank Journalist Story too. Hell, I wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I got a few followers on socials, but it never hurts to get those extra 10, 15, 20, just off the strength of someone using their 20, 25,000 or their 15 or even their 1,000. So I think it's best to just show like you appreciate someone for really spending time transcribing, writing, doing the research to tell the story that you're trying to get out here. So a lot of it is just really using your influence and using your audience to help really build somebody else up.
Oh, he's gonna say something. I got you.
So, I just want to get back to the question, okay? All right, and so what can we as Black media and publicity people do to bring about more unity? Like, the word unity is not necessarily, that's a word that has some actions that are, you know, not necessarily in a space of joining organizations and stuff like that, but just from a being present with each other kind of space. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we know we're telling the stories, we know very much, we're very present in the marketplace. We know what's going on. So knowing that we know what's going on, knowing that we are the people who tell the stories, how can we be more unified in that?
I think having compassion helps too. I mean, a lot of times when you're dealing with certain people with a certain clientele, or you're dealing with someone that's done a certain type of story, ask them what did it take to do that story. Some of this stuff is very taxing. And a lot of times when you're dealing with PR teams especially, they're like the first line of defense when something goes wrong, and it can be a bit much for them to deal with stuff. So I think some of it is really just about just having a conversation, just asking, well, how can I make your job easier at this particular event? Or did you get what you needed from me just now? Or just sitting down, just, again, having a smile on your face and asking, is your evening okay? Is everything fine with you? Because it can be a bit much. I think some of it is just having compassion for what somebody else's job is and just knowing what that job is so that you know where you fit into the equation.
Now, I'll take it a step further. You guys made all valid points. Sometimes we gotta help ourselves. When we're in places and we see people, especially people who look like ourselves, it is important that you speak to those people.
Yes, say hello.
Because
like,
you
why
do
not?
not know how or what they do. It's just a simple hello. I saw this guy eating and he looked me in the face and I was like, well, let's start a conversation.
Yeah, here we are, let's go.
And I found out that he's going to be on our show in a few weeks. Like, it's just little things like that. And just a little story of my own. I moved here. 2 weeks later, I met a gentleman on the racetrack. We were both in the cars. Happened to be my fraternity brother. We hung out all day at the racetrack.
I already know.
We weren't drunk. We weren't drunk. We probably would have figured it out sooner. But
allegedly,
he ended up working for the company that I now work for, and I was able to be informed that we're hiring.
Yep.
I did my interview and I was able to get myself in the door. Well, he got me in the door. I was able to secure the seat though.
Okay.
So
that
is the important part of
you hit the bucket. Okay.
And I learned this from 50 Cent. He said this, his grandpa taught him. He said, you'll get as far as the people you talk to for no reason.
Yes.
And I just think that in my life.
That's so
people, I just speak, and I'm not looking to gain anything necessarily from them, but if that's what comes of it, amazing. But just meeting people and learning their stories, man, you can learn a lot just by speaking and listening.
So I'll just add the one thing. My mother always says it's important for you to reach back, pull up, and push forward.
That's what I forgot to say.
That's really important. There should be no jealousy when people come into your space. Because the important thing is to develop that person to take your place. And that's sometimes very difficult for us to do. You have to know when to go. You have to know when to move up. But you need to be sure that you help someone else move on. So even if you are on the same job, you know, pulling a sister aside and saying, that's a cute dress, but baby, that doesn't work in this newsroom. People are spending more time looking at your body than listening to how you do your work.
Okay.
And that's important. And we've gotten away from really caring about one another to be able to say those kinds of things to one another. And I like the fact tonight when we walked in, you know, I ask a name, I get a name back. But what I didn't get, if we're gonna talk about unity, there are people in this room who, when I'm looking for people to put on my show, you have a contact, but I have no way to get in contact with you. I didn't get a card, I didn't get a call. Yeah, but that's also part of that unity now. I know where to find you, I know where to find you, know where to find you, and I know where to find you. I've been knowing where to find Maria. But the point is, every person in this room has some value that each and every one of us could use. And we need, I don't know why no one has done this yet. In the old days, there was a PR firm here that put together a book, you may remember it, Maria, where it was all, they were white agencies at that time, and the white reporters and the white producers, and then they added us later on. Unless you belong to AABJ or NABJ, you do not have access to who's doing what in this city. That's right. And we've never had that kind of, someone in this room is your missing link, and that's the truth.
Be very clear.
And so we need to put, somebody needs to put together, it ain't me, somebody needs to put together
We got you, OG.
A really good book of people, black media, black PR, black agencies.
We're building it through this
portal
actually as we speak.
But to be able for me to come up, you know, and just come on.
And for my next stretch.
And that's what I need. That's what I need. And then the last thing I need from everyone.
Okay, I like that.
You have story ideas, don't sit on them. If you can't do it, give it to somebody else. Don't sit on it and then it passes by. We've got to learn to share the wealth. That's so important. And then my last thing.
If you decide to.
This is my last one. last
If that's
one.
what you so choose.
Yeah, last one. Those of you who are reporters, when you are interviewing people of color. And that person, let's say it's a woman who lives in a housing project. Please, don't let her go on the air with rollers in her head.
Tell the story, Queen.
And remember that when we're interviewing people of color, that we don't make the stereotype even worse. The person may be the best speaker in the world, but if she's looking a hot mess, or he's looking a hot mess, or he's drunk, why are you gonna put him on the air? Right? So we need, when you talk about unity, it's about unity not just among us, but among the people we cover.
Absolutely. Yes, Queen. Yes, you're gonna tie it up so nicely in a bow. It was the what I need for me. That was the piece that I enjoyed. Like, I just think that if more people could articulate that in a way that's crafted and thoughtful, it just what I need from you. Like, just how many times have you ever even said that to anybody this week? Like, so just in the past 10 days, how many people did you say, what I need from you is this, and then articulate it? Like, I think that would put everyone on a faster path to getting what they need.
Well, one thing about it too, when you talk about what do you need, for what I do, I will have people who will, I do the interviews and everything, and I have the PR people who will shop the interviews to me. I say, great subject matter, great, yes. I can put you on those 4 stations and those 3 HD platforms. Yes.
Okay.
And then they want you to do this for them, and this, and this. Hey, can you give me a link? Hey, can you write that story and put it on your website? It's like, wait a minute. I did the interview for you. I did.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, because being on the other end of that, I'm like,
Exactly.
listen, look, I do need my link, okay, ASAP, actually.
Well, you know what? Let's discuss that, when you're talking.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you all understand we have other jobs to do. You're not the only story that day.
No, exactly. And I understand that, but I am one of them. So, I mean, holla at your boy. Like, look. Okay. All right. So, we have a question in play, or is it time for the next question?
It's time for the next question.
All righty. So, actually, we're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna do questions from the audience.
Okay.
Yeah, is that mic hot? Are we ready for action over there, DJ Wade Banner? Give me one of those test things so I can feel good about it.
Test.
Turn it up a little more. Get it to
Check. 1, 2.
Okay, all right. Okay, guys. So if you guys do have questions, what I would prefer you do is come over. Essentially right next to you is where people should come to ask questions. Let's get the microphone over in that area. Please tell me it has the length. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody.
Hello. And tell us your name and just give us a quick little whop of you and what you do, and then ask your question. A quick whop of what you do.
Are you trying to say I'm hungry?
No. I'm a person who's speaking to the masses. I'm never usually localized to one person.
Okay, no, I'm speaking. All right, I am long with it, but I'm not going to be. My name is Devin Barbie, so hey y'all, and I do radio and media, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. That was short and sweet right there.
Booyah!
So my question to all of you, or whomever would like to answer, is when did you know what you wanted to do? And I mean, you knew it, you wanted to execute it, nothing can stop you from what you wanted.
Hey.
Well, that's an easy one for me. I was 7 years old, and my family used to watch 60 Minutes on Sundays. And at the time, Ed Bradley was the cleanest, the dopest dude on TV. Like, this dude had salt and pepper hair, he had an earring, he was interviewed everybody. So we would literally watch this every Sunday, and my family would have conversations about this, and it was just like, what does he do? Because he's interviewing everybody. He's interviewing Lena Horne, he has Michael Jackson, Timothy McVeigh, all these people literally on camera with him. And I used to go to the library all the time on Sundays and just read while my mother would cook. And there was a book called The Death of Rhythm and Blues by Nelson George. And I just started really digging for more of his stuff because I loved the wording of it, and he was talking about things that I was familiar with, especially because it was about music. So once I started reading more of his stuff, and I kept looking at Ed Bradley on Sundays, and then Ed Gordon was on BET News too. So I was like, okay, whatever they're doing, that's what I want to do. So that's when I knew my why, and that's when I knew what I wanted to do.
Wow. Okay.
I knew I always wanted to entertain as a child, just being at the family reunion, all my grandparents, mom, dad gathered around me. I'm just dancing, moonwalking, all that stuff. And in high school, I always was the guy with the camera outside with the parties and whatnot. I wish I still had that footage. But I wish that my counselor would have told me, Marcel, you're doing this, go to college for this. Because I didn't know I was producing, I was directing, I was doing the morning announcements, I didn't know what that was. And I wish I can go back and figure it out, college, blah, 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 but
it's over with.
I'm here now. So.
The train doesn't stop.
I'd say I also knew at a young age, where I'm from, there was a curriculum built into our schools where they were called communication and writing magnet schools. So we actually had a newsroom at our school. So when you walked in, it was a big class similar to this, and that's where we would do the morning news. I was also doing announcements, so that kind of lit the fire under me. Now, I will say that I did get away from it, and I think after I went to college, so I initially wanted to be a child psychologist, but then I got to college and I'm like, man, this is boring.
We still need you.
Let me get back to my roots. And once I got back to my roots, there was no stopping me from there. I helped bring back our radio station in college. It had been down for over 20 years. Langston, another HBCU. Shout out.
Okay, y'all better bring some stuff back. We back, baby.
That just kind of, it lit the fire, and writing for the newspaper and everything. So I guess forever, he got away from but got back. That's a testament. You might get away from your goals and your dreams, but always circle back.
Hey,
because
spin the block for yourself, if nobody else. Exactly.
I like it. You have a little more left to give.
All right. All right. So, on the next question, it's the green for me.
How y'all doing? My name is Shay Starr. I'm a radio personality, media personality. I do a lot of other cool shit on the side.
Okay.
But my question today, and I love you, Maria. I listen to you every morning. Yes, big fan, big fan. So in media, when dealing with clients, right?
Okay.
And stories come out that are unfavorable. I think we talked about the cancel culture earlier.
Yeah.
So when you are in charge of being ahead of the drama, it is super drama, like animal abuse, domestic violence.
Oh wow.
How do you fix that in media without adding to the problem?
Normally, when you, in the old days, and they don't do it much these days, but in the old days, the way you handled it, you did the story, and then you went to an agency that could provide the addendum to that story. In other words, if you did a story on child abuse, you would then go to an agency that worked with children who've been abused.
Yep.
And so you told the negative, but you always gave the spin.
Exactly.
To tell people, this happened, but this is how you can guard against it happening again. It's the same thing with suicide prevention. When you hear these stories on young people now committing suicide, you will now notice everybody puts up the slide. But in the old days, you would also go talk to a mother whose child had committed suicide, who could talk about, here's what you don't understand, how it affects the entire family. And as I can remember still what one woman said to me, she said, you know, I wish I could have proven to my child that suicide was a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So the way you do that is to balance it out by providing people with good information.
Exactly.
And then the way you deal with it personally, because it is, I'm very serious about that. In news, you cover so much evil, so much hatred, so much that makes you want to go, what is going on?
Right.
That you've got to have a strong faith and you have to have a good support system that you can talk to. And sometimes it's not the people you work with.
Yes.
Because sometimes the people you work with, it's like a dog with a bone. They're going to take you back to somebody else, and then somebody's going to be talking about how you were overreacting. So you got to have people outside your company that you can talk to personally, honestly, who will listen, and it's important, will listen, let you speak, let you get it out, and then ask, do you want to hear what I have to say? Because sometimes you don't want to hear what they have to say, you just want them to be a sounding board. So I would say any story that you have to do that is negative and that it's full of sugar, honey, iced tea, make sure that you have that balance to it to provide helpful information.
All right. So, anybody else got something for that?
Well, basically, for me, I mean, you know,
I would love to have the CNN producer also speak on this one.
Oh man.
Okay, so basically for me, I get the news, I get the stories, you know, and people will come to you and they will give you a story that is something, it could be deep or whatever, they'll call you on the phone. For me, because some things can be so outrageous, I'll say, well, can you put it in the email? Okay, first, write it for me. Or help your attorney to call me.
Okay.
You know, I go that route too. If they don't have that information for me or they can't write it for me, I know that something is wrong with what they're telling me. Okay, that's number one. Now, in terms of covering a story in itself, whether it's a murder, whether it's a shooting of a young man in the streets by the police, I'm going to get that, you know, I'm going to get the reaction. I'm going to get the reaction from the family. I'm going to get the attorney. And I'm going to also email or call or try to get in touch with whoever's on the other side, the police, the DA's office, whomever. If they don't respond to me, I'm gonna say, you know, calls have been made to the DA's office and I'm not been returned. Exactly. But what I'm trying to do now is cover both sides of the story, at least two sides, let's put it that way, to get the story out there, because the public has questions. They want to know, well, what happened in this respect? And I just try to cover from that angle. And then, of course, you have the budgets now. So things are not like they used to be. You have the budgets. You don't have the bodies to do everything. I realize, that's the reason my sanity is still in question. I realize that I am but one person. Cute, but I am but one person.
You know, looking clear.
You know what I'm saying? And 24 hours, that's what it is, 24 hours. And then the next day, and you know, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
But you feel me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a saying in media, and it's terrible, but it's the truth. If it bleeds, it leads.
Yep.
So the more to the story, that's what's going to go up. So working for the largest news network in the world,
Biggie Boulevard.
I really don't have, you know, the authority to be like, no, I'm not going to put that out, because guess what? Fox is going to air it. MSNBC is going to air it. ABC Tonight, they're going to air it. And CNN didn't air it.
Washed.
So, exactly. So, if it's something major like that, I was just talking to somebody. There was news, like Uvalde has been going on, as well as the shooting in New York.
Yep.
But the New York shooting has kind of faded to the background, but Uvalde has not. Now, I'm not a person to be like, hey, it's because they were black. Because the people, those are children. So in my opinion, that is going to get a little more precedence.
A little more is the key, though, not just hella.
It's
Not
19 children that we lost unnecessarily, and it could have been prevented. On top
In lots
that,
of ways.
the police were there watching and
Right,
doing
exactly.
everything. So that's just, we don't always have that opportunity. Like, it has to come out. It would be awesome to be like, hey, today we're not doing any of those. We're only going to do feel-good stories today.
Right.
Can't do it.
But
You're
it
gonna
just
see
doesn't
your-
work that way. It just
And
doesn't.
remember, the kids in Uvalde were also people of color.
They were.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so, and that's you know, it's kind of like sometimes media has to make a decision
choice,
about what we're going to cover.
That's right.
And what I have enjoyed, even in looking at some of the Uvalde coverage, you see them from time to time still talking about
Absolutely.
Buffalo.
Absolutely.
And that comes from being a producer. Because if you weren't there, guess what?
They wouldn't talk about it.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. So what it sounded like is a lot of what was being said there, to wrap your question up, even though you sat down while people were still answering your question. Yeah, just you two lip buds got it. Yeah, waiting their turn after you, who we were still answering. Yes, anyway, yes. Look, so, yes, anyway, hello, moving along.
Hello, my name is Bonnie Banks. I am the morning show producer at Street. So you guys probably hear me do your traffic. This is Street 94.9.
Okay, Bonnie Banks.
Yes, and I produce the morning show, and it's interesting to hear you guys talk about just news and like the type of information we disperse, because I think that, you know, as a producer, it is important what we're putting out to our Black community, and I know that radio was a form of communication for Black people
Right.
back in the day, so I think that that's important. So she kind of took my question because I really had one. But also just like, how has social media bloggers really influenced, you know, especially you, Maria, the news that you disperse? Because it's a blog, but they are trying to give out facts at the same time.
Sometimes.
Right, yes. With very little journalistic integrity.
You said they're trying.
They're trying, because I see them and it's like, okay, I read the headline, but the headline is not really what the story actually is sometimes. And you know, where as a community we see it on our Instagram real quick and we're like, oh, okay, and then we think we know what happened, but that's not really what happened. So you know, in radio you don't have too much time to talk. You only have this split second to educate and tell and keep pushing. So how have social media and things like that like positively and negatively affected the way we disperse information?
Positively, one thing, I gotta give it to them. They're out there trying to make it happen.
Yes, give it to
Okay,
them.
they're trying to make it happen. They're giving the knowledge. They're putting it, that they're letting people know, hey, this happened. That's one thing. But I would, kind of tweak it just a little bit in terms of, you can tell it, but then don't start to expound on saying what you think actually happened when that's not the truth.
Right.
Because you can get a whole community outraged, in the wrong way.
Right.
But
Cancel for 46 8 hours.
So for me, what I can do is just go based off the knowledge that I have and the experience that I have in doing the job and doing it properly, okay? And just and keep my head down and keep rolling that way. Because if I allow the bloggers to start to influence what I do, that sanity's really gonna be on top of the world. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So for me, I do have to continue to persevere, give the sides of the story that are necessary to tell the story properly and understandably and factually. That's what I try to adhere to. I can't let a blogger, I can't follow them and say, oh my God, this is what happened. That's not how I do things.
Yes.
It's just not.
Do anything to trust
I always say to anybody who is in media, Society of Professional Journalists has a code of ethics.
Yes.
And you'd be surprised how many people in our business have never
Not surprised.
read it.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you read the code of ethics, you will not be taking the information that may show up on social media and running with it unless you have checked it out for yourself.
Right.
Because in the end, it is your name and your credibility and
right.
your ethics that are on the line. To me, being first is not most important.
Yep.
Being accurate is most important. Being first is not most important, but being accurate is most important.
Where's the organ when we need it? Okay. And he That was the gospel. Okay. So, all right, next batter.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mari Horsey.
Is the baby here for us?
Thank you.
She's cute.
I'm graduate from Auburn University, and I dabble in a lot of things. So I'm a videographer, photographer. I video edit. I also like to make graphics.
Okay.
And my question is, how did you guys transition from college to career? And then for those who are in here who are already out of college and have started, how did you get to where you wanted to go?
I can't answer that because I've been doing this for 52 years. They didn't even have a journalism major when I was in school. I'm sorry. So I can't help you.
Hey, Chef, I do need a plate, but definitely just, let's talk. No, I mean, the question was amazing, but still, you know what I'm saying? But yet, and still we persist. Look, all right, so that transition.
I would say my internship with CBS Sports helped me very much so because my major was business in college, not media. And working with CBS and building relationships there, coming back home to Atlanta and working every CBS event that they have here and talking to people and getting their contact information, following up. And that's what I have to say, just follow up with people and build those contacts within your phone. And you do everything. I commend you doing all the things you do, graphic, video, photography. Keep that up and just rework, retool, relearn. Just keep doing that. That's an amazing start.
And don't be afraid to take an entry-level job.
Absolutely not.
In an area where you can see where you can move up.
Correct.
That's real important because if you go into the newsroom editing, you're never going to get on the air. But if you go into the news writing, you have an opportunity to get on the air.
You can write, you always have one.
Yep. You're right.
My path was a little different. I have a degree in broadcast journalism. I can't tell you when I got my first job because it was that long. Like I interned and then I went into a career field because I needed money. You feel me? Like
Be clear.
Getting into this industry is not easy, man. And one thing we haven't mentioned up here, man, it's not what you know, but it's who you know.
Yes.
And that is what's gotten me. And somebody might say that's not true, but that's my path. me meeting
No one would
people
logically say that.
and knowing other people has literally gotten me into the door for all my jobs in the media.
But
I had to take care of it.
all right,
What you said there, let's be clear.
be clear.
Meeting them was just the step in the door. But I ultimately had to make sure that whatever I knew or whatever I was doing took me further, all right? So whatever you're doing right now, don't be discouraged. And it can be bleak, it can look like nothing is happening. Keep going. Back when I quit my job in Kansas City and moved here with a 1-month-old and no job, I didn't stop. I didn't tell myself no. I kept pushing. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
As a student at the Albany State University in Albany, Georgia.
It's the D for me.
Albany, Georgia, which is a beautiful town. What I would say to you is this, for me, in terms of how do you know? Someone asked the question earlier, how did you know when you wanted to do it? And then to your question, for me, my local radio station in Columbus, Georgia, they had the scholarship programs. I went to get the scholarship, came back home that day. There was a visitor at my grandmother's house who said to me, I know you don't want to be a DJ. So I was like, well, I guess I won't be turning in this information. I'm not going to be doing radio, So went to Albany State University. Albany State University now in Albany, Georgia.
All bent up.
Georgia. And I will tell you that to know that one day they had auditions. Who knew? They had auditions for someone to come in and to read the news over the air. Unbeknownst to me, these broadcasts were going over, Southwest Georgia and northern, Alabama. So for me, I was like, no, northern Florida, sorry. So I was like, wow. So I went in, did the audition, and I got it. So see, for me, that let me know, well, I guess I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we didn't have a journalism department. All we were doing was sitting there reading it over the phone. Okay? But it came out clear. Back then it was so clear and crisp.
Okay, clear
and
and
we would
crisp.
sit in the dining hall and people could hear you. So when I'd walk into the dining hall, people were like, hey.
Okay, celeb energy.
Okay.
Campus celeb energy.
That being said.
Big girl on campus, but not embodied.
But that being said, and then again in Albany, Georgia. I'm talking about just small. In Albany, Georgia, one day the dean called me into his office and he said, we're doing internships now. He said, and there's an internship at WAKA. Okay. And I had just crossed Delta, so he was playing.
Tried your life.
Hey, no. But it was WKAK. It was WKAK. So that's how I got in. I got in with an internship, and then 2 weeks after I got there, she hired me. She wanted me to work for her. So, so every little step for me has let me know that I'm supposed to be doing this. You get what I'm saying? You feel me?
I feel you.
So, okay, good.
Okay. So I want to answer that question. So I want to answer that question as well, because I think, as someone who guides people through their journey, through business and through life.
And he does a great job at it too.
And so I think that I think a couple of the keys that I would give you is, the first one is for you to be really honest inside you about what it is that you truly want to do. Correct. Like the things that actually you don't have to go and get gas all the time to ignite. And so like those things. And so to make sure that those things are a part of what you're doing, and then you'll never actually look, see the big dramatic look. But to be truly honest in that, and because that'll really be the key, because at the end of the day, there's a 1,000 things that we can do. Essentially everything that you do in your day, everything that everyone does in their day, somebody else gets paid to do that thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, being honest with you and to put forward steps to put you on a path to those things, whether they're the littlest steps in the history of steps, as long as you're doing that and you're honest in yourself in that, you will align and you will attract things. It won't even be about transition. It'll be about where your footsteps take you. Your blessings are flowing to you right there. And so that level and that depth of alignment will put you in a place where you're never transitioning. You're just doing more shit that you like to do. You know what I'm saying? And so you're never transitioning. You're just always doing shit that you like to do.
I'm gonna add to that as well because y'all have social media. We didn't have that. Y'all have so many editors and producers literally casting wide nets saying, I'm looking for pictures on this. I'm looking for a graphic designer that can do this. I'm looking for an editor that can do this. I'm looking for someone that can shoot here. You have so many people physically doing that on LinkedIn. They're doing it on Twitter especially. You have to use Twitter. It's a beautiful, beautiful resource if you use it properly.
He just used it.
There's a handle that you should definitely be aware of, and anybody else too, is called @Writers of Color.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
One of the best handles on there right now. There's so many like recruiters on there trying to staff. It's producers on there trying to find people that can do packages. It's editors trying to find pitches. Because it's Pride Month, it's Black Music Month, it's all kinds of months. So they're always trying to find stories to fit those calendars.
And drop that again, Chris. Who was that's looking for that?
It's the handle is just @Writers of Color, and it's literally some of everybody that's on there.
Lottie Dottie. Got it.
And don't be afraid to move. That's the other
another
thing.
one.
Yes, ma'am.
Move, hold on, wait. I mean, don't leave Atlanta. Hold on, wait.
No. If you, I don't know what you want to do, but when I look at you, I can see an MMJ.
Uh-oh. What is it?
And it's
Multimedia journalist.
Multimedia journalist.
Okay, MMJ.
Because she can shoot, she can edit, she has the look that's in favor right now.
Facts, or just or anytime.
In television news, we go through color phases. Let's just be honest with you. You are the flavor of the month right now. So, I mean, honest. All you have to do is look at TV and you can see it. But you could be an MMJ. And going back to NABJ,
Yes.
having your work to present at NABJ can get you a position. But it's quicker to get that position in some place like a Macon or an Augusta.
Albany,
you want to stay in the state, but you want to go where you stand out and not where you're going to blend in.
There you go.
It used to be everybody wanted to go to Washington, D.C. They got enough black women anchors and reporters there. It's the same here in Atlanta. So starting out where you stand out versus then blend in helps you move up the ladder quicker because you hone your skills. And then the next thing you know, you have agents calling you because they found you in that small market.
Okay, found you.
Pam Oliver.
Okay,
You know
found you.
Pam Oliver? She was in Albany. She was in Albany.
Yes.
Okay. Now, also, I just want you to know, Auburn University, the head of Newsy, the new company, is Eric Ludgood. He's an Auburn University graduate. So that can be a mentor for you.
Okay, yes, wow, yes, mentor.
Go, Indeed is Eric, ERICLUDGOOD, Eric Ludgood. Tell him I sent you.
All right. Yeah, doc, look, and just so you're clear, doctor. Okay, be clear. All right, so next question.
Are you in NABJ?
No.
We had a conversation earlier.
You need to join.
Yep, and it's been unanimous now.
Somebody be ready to
Yes.
They have a convention in August.
Yep.
Somebody be ready to get you.
All right, yep, moving right along.
What's real? My name is Lanice, but I go by Tang Gang Baby.
Hey.
What's real? What's real? I love that. I swear to God.
Yes,
So,
baby.
I'm just looking at two women in the blue.
Okay.
Royal, looking real royal up there. And it's
Flanked. I'm wearing blue also though, just not a woman. I'm flanked. Body two blue, bombshells is what we're calling them.
right. So this is my direct question to you two ladies. I have no college education in journalism. I have no experience or mentor in filming and the things that I do in content, but I'm so good at it. So I don't want to discourage myself, but sometimes, I can get derailed because there is other people whose images might be a little better than mine, or voices might be a little bit louder, or they might just know the right person at that time. So my question to you guys is, how did I want to word this? What advice do you have for me to stay motivated and actually just, excel in the media. I wouldn't call myself a blogger, but I do a lot of celebrity events. I am, excelling in YouTube and things like that, but I want to be on TV. I want to be one of those people who say, hey, your morning, or hey, check this out. You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of those faces, and I'm not going to stop. But it would just be good to hear it from pioneers and trailblazers like you ladies.
News. Notice I said news. I didn't say programming. In news without a college degree. It's never too late to get the basics. Because then they feel you have invested in yourself and learned what is required to do the job the way it needs to be done for commercial television. I'm just being honest. Now, and you can do it. Because I like your style, I like your energy, I like your passion. But again, let's say, right now, we got jobs at Peachtree TV.
Yep.
What jobs?
And but they're reporters' jobs.
Right.
You don't have the skills right now on paper to get you a job at Peachtree TV.
Right.
So all I ask you to do is spend a little more time at Georgia State.
Morehouse?
Because this Morehouse's program will take women in the program.
You can definitely cross-register.
Clark Atlanta has a good program. Invest in yourself, because that education is what's going to get you in the door.
Albany State has journalism.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
If you want to come, if you want to come out in my class, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm actually starting film school in SAE.
Good.
In September. So that's one of
It's
my.
an amazing month.
That's one of my, stepping stones to get in here.
That's good.
So, I'm making an initiative, but, it always, I love constructive criticism. I've heard that though already. I've heard that.
But here's the point. You've heard it, but what have you done about it?
Oh.
I kept coming hard. I keep giving them what they want. I keep coming on. I ain't stopped.
All right, perfect. Look, I like it. She came hard some more.
So then the question is, in 4 years, where do you want to be? Where do you
In
want
4
to be
years, I want my own broadcast and what's real. I want to be an owner of my own.
Okay, fine. Then when you go home tonight, you pull out that book and you start writing. You take your journal. Where do you want to be in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months? Step by step, what is it going to take to get you to where you want to go? You heard what Monica said.
Right.
What is it going to take? If anything, what I need you to do, go to different companies, go to their websites, pull up their career boards, see what the jobs are, see what the qualifications have to be for you to get that position, and work toward that. And, you can talk to people all day long, but sometimes we need to read it. We need to see it so we can feel it.
Right.
So for you, you've got the energy, you've got the drive. Seems like you've even got the perseverance to stay in this damn business.
Coming hard. Coming hard every time.
So I just need you to feel it for yourself. Because we can sit here and tell you stuff all day long, but you got to feel it and feel it.
Yeah.
Feel it and breathe it.
Exactly.
Feel it.
And you gotta get the qualifications.
Yeah, we got it. Thank you. Yes, we got it. Yes, moving right along. We got 2 more questions and we gotta go.
Okay,
So
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Now wait a minute before you
No.
Don't forget. No. You heard what he said.
Okay.
You can come audit his class.
Pull up on it.
I'm not leaving until I get all
exactly.
information.
Yeah, you would have blown it if you don't leave here with 10 contacts. Every one of you in here.
Oh, 10.
10. First name, last name, cell phone, email address. You blew it otherwise. All right.
How y'all doing?
We gotta keep these quick, guys.
Yes, sir.
My name is Mickey Funderburg. I have 2 careers simultaneously.
Okay, cool name.
So I am a digital and social media specialist specializing in Black and HBCU culture. And I'm also a professor at Clark Atlanta University.
Hey, come to it, Professor.
I've worked with him
exactly.
for years.
We're rolling.
So I'm in the media department. I'm a digital media instructor. So my question for myself, and by the way, Ms. Pearson, I'm from Radcliffe, Kentucky, South.
Okay,
I used to have a house in Radcliffe.
Yeah, so it's you blink and you out that quick.
Can you take your chin strap off?
You said,
you took your chin strap off.
Oh, okay. I have bad allergies. So that's wrong.
Yeah, we got you.
So my question is
Both
having a, oh, you want it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, there we go. Now we outside.
All right, so my question is with two careers rapidly growing for myself, because I have agencies coming at me freelance and I'm still teaching, I keep getting moved up. How do you find balance between a fast-paced industry and, personal life?
What personal life?
I know, I'm never off.
So one of my hashtags that I use is called balance, not busy. And so what I've done is I've actually taken the word busy out of my vocabulary. It doesn't exist. And a couple of the reasons why is because busy actually has very bad PR. Like that word it doesn't actually resonate with a lot of things that sound powerful anymore. And so it started for me with my niece, and she was like 4 years old, 5 years old, and she told me she was busy. All right, so I got 4-year-olds thinking that they're busy. And then when you think about the word busy in your life, it's a lot of times people's excuse for not doing something they were supposed to do.
There you go.
Okay, it's a lot of times when you think about being busy, that doesn't sound like a bunch of people who are tapped into their purpose and into their passion. Those people aren't the ones that are usually busy either. And so I think understanding that you have to insist on having balance. Okay, you have to insist on creating time in your day, creating time in your week, creating time in your month to do all the things to be all that you are. To not ever allow this country to compartmentalize who you are. And so the balance comes from insisting on being all the things that you are and creating space for those things in your life.
Thank you.
Healthy boundaries. Very healthy boundaries. Like Monica said earlier, saying no. It's okay to say no. When you have those office hours set aside for students, do those hours, but you don't have to spend your whole week doing that. And we've had conversations about this before. When your time off is your time off, that's your time off. People have to wait till next time.
Yep, facts. Tuesday.
When you have time to sit down and work on freelance work, that's time to focus on client work. You can give yourself enough window and enough bandwidth to realize, okay, here are my deliverables for my clients. Here's what I personally need to do for my own personal satisfaction. But being okay with saying no and walking away from things when they're not suiting you.
Yes.
And that's just kind of how I think you should do it. But, just saying no and just establishing those healthy boundaries.
And understanding that, again, we are supposed to be a lot of things. We are not simple in any shape, form, or fashion. This country does this extraordinary job at making us monolithic, making us have a singular focus on one thing. And when you really look at who was doing that, that's what we've been doing since slavery in America. Focusing on the tasks that they decide are important for us to do and be. And so when you just decide that you actually get to be all the pieces of you, the one who likes to sing, the one who likes to make clothes, the one who likes to paint, the one who likes to draw, the one who likes to smoke marijuana, the one who likes to teach classes, the one who likes to go and throw that ass in a circle at a party. All of those people, you need to be those people. And you need to never allow any one of those people to be on a shelf. Because at some point your life is going to end, and it's always the regret of all the old people. Like when they die and they're in that, when they are allowed to die, they always talk about the regret of not going, not doing, not trying, not being, and so that's the one thing that we should all make sure that we don't do, is not pursue an opportunity to be whole by being all that we are.
I have one more piece of advice. Because I get called on to do voiceover work and then I have the other stuff that I do, I had to learn to pick projects that really spoke to who I was.
Resonation.
Just because somebody throws a project at you, don't look at it for how much money it's going to bring in. Look at, is it really in my wheelhouse? Is this really something that will fulfill me? And that will help you cut down on projects. Because some of you you're just doing because they're asking you to do it. It's a nice little check. But it really doesn't mean that much to you, and it would take you 3 minutes to do it, and it's not the best of you.
Yep.
So look at projects very carefully.
Yep. And a part of that, as an educator, is delegating that to the people that you teach. But thank you so much. Next batter.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Monica. I am the creator of Urban Grind magazine. So you answered part of my question already. The second
Well, thank you so
part-
much. Yay, perfect.
Right, I guess the second part would be, I don't have any formal experience with media. I'm self-taught as far as print, getting interviews and all that. My question would be, how do you gauge how much time you give yourself to write your articles and get it out there, I guess?
Oh, let me tell you. I'll make it quick. For instance, for me, what I do is when I do an interview, because we have the video, they send me the video immediately. I have to transcribe it, get it transcribed, because there are services now that will do that for you, so you don't have to sit listen to the whole thing. And then I basically just write and get it done. Now, that's because I'm working on my own deadline.
Correct.
I know my shows run once a month. I know the scripts need to be in at least 3 weeks ahead of time so that the editors can do it, and then I can look at it, and then we can change anything and go. You have to treat it as a job.
Right.
So, and then I'll ask you to do this. You say you write, and you're a freelancer.
Yes.
Have you started sending your work or soliciting work? Or are you kind of waiting for people to call you?
I've been mainly writing for my publication. Like I actually just did my first print March.
But are you writing, have you tried to write for Essence? Have you tried to write for, you can speak to her more about this better than I can. You need to be able to get out there and get it away from your work but in somebody else's work.
Yeah, it definitely all boils down to the pitch and just really know what people need and kind of
Finish strong, Chris.
I'm saying
I said finish strong, but
it's definitely all about the pitch. But then also to Monica's point, giving the story what it needs, sometimes it will take you longer to get certain things across. So it's not gonna necessarily be a 10, 15 minute job, even an hour job.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might take you 6 months to get that full report fleshed out. Sometimes it might take you a month.
Don't have me waiting that long. As a PR person, never have me waiting that long for anything.
If I have like 10 sources that I need for a piece, I got to.
Yeah.
It's all about getting the full.
Let me know through the process if I can update that at any point.
Yeah, but I think some of it is really just boiling down to that pitch and just knowing what people need and just really getting out of your own head, because it's really worthless if it's just in front of you 24/7.
Right.
So it really has to get to where it needs to go in order to get where it needs to be.
I love it. All right, so guys, put your hands together for this amazing panel. Look, so I would have wrapped this up probably about 24 minutes ago, but I let it glide. Look, just for you guys. So you're welcome. Put your hands together for yourselves. See, we talked about